All right, let's get right into it. We got a ton of games tonight. Empty Betters Overtime Report. Let's do it. First game of the night. We have the Ottawa Senators facing off against the Tampa Bay Lightning down in the Sunshine State. I personally do not have any action on this game. What about you fellas?
I don't like this. This is tricky. This could be a 7-1 game or this could be a 2-1 game. I'm just staying away from it.
Ditto. I don't like. I mean, the Lightning should win, but I'm not going to take it because I think it's like minus 200, maybe even worse by now. So not worth it.
Yep. Curious to see how Nick Paul does against his former team. That's all I will say. We got the Rangers versus the Flyers in Madison Square Garden. Flyers been playing good this year so far. A juicy plus 215 on the money line. Do you guys have any action on this one?
I kind of like the under in this one if Igor and Hart both go because they both have actually been playing really well. And when I say actually, I mean Carter Hart. I mean, we know Igor is good, but I mean, they both have 5 wins so far this year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably going to look at the under if they're both on their A game.
Was gonna say it does feel like an under. It's set at 6 last time I checked. Wouldn't be surprised if that line moved to 5.5 by the time of the puck drop, but it is just a little too dangerous for me because both teams have good offensive firepower too. So I don't think I'm gonna
Right.
touch that one.
I'm fine with 6. 5.5 is absolutely a no-go for me.
Yeah, I don't have the balls to do it, but Flyers plus 215. I would take that if I had a couple pennies to pinch here, or not pinch rather. All right, now we get into the juicy one: the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Washington Capitals. They face off in DC tonight. I personally have a wager on this one. I got the Vegas Golden Knights money line last night. Wrote a blog about this while Craig and Joe B were talking about it on the broadcast. Minus 130 is what I got it at. It shot up to minus 170 earlier today. It's back down to minus 160. What do you guys think about this one?
Not touching it.
I this is stupid, but I might just throw like one unit on Caps money line just because Charlie
Yeah,
Lindgren has played really well in every game
he
he's
has.
played this year. And I don't know, the Caps with their whole Hershey Capitals situation right now, they kind of tend to play with a chip on their shoulder in situations like this. You remember last year we were in a similar situation and they actually surprised a lot of people. So for plus 140 or so, I don't hate it. I won on a Caps underdog pick last week. Can't remember who they were playing, but actually I think it was the Devils or something like that. So yeah, I might dabble with one unit on Caps money line here just for funsies.
I don't hate it, Mac. I'm getting this from numberfire.com, but statistically, the Caps have the best goalie tandem so far in the league when talking about goals saved above expectation, whatever the fuck that means. Okay, moving on. The Boston Bruins versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, primetime ESPN, 8 o'clock tonight. I mean, the fact that the Penguins are favored against the best team in the league so far this season is a little worrisome. I personally don't get it. Diehard Pens fan, but I ain't touching this one. It's hard to think that the Penguins will lose 5 in a row, especially given the fact they're back home after a 4-game road trip. But with the way Boston's playing, I wouldn't touch this. I would also be on the lookout for Pastrnak props if I were you.
What do you
What
think
about you
about the
guys?
over in this game? I feel like both teams have been decent at scoring goals so far this year. The Bruins have hit a couple overs. Allmark versus Jari doesn't exactly scream under to me.
Not
This
necessarily.
I feel like every Pitt Boston games in Pittsburgh is a 4-3 overtime game, every single one. So if that happens, pat on the back to my future self, I would go over.
Maybe I'll dabble with an OT bet here after a couple margaritas. It is
And
Taco Tuesday.
Allmark hasn't lost a game yet, right? I think
I,
he's
I
6-0 and 0.
don't know the answer to that one, but I'll trust you on it.
Wow.
Moving on, we've got the Montreal Canadiens in Minnesota tonight to take on the Wild. We have the Wild as minus 250 favorites. That's hefty in my opinion. For this game, I do have one prop. This one comes to us from a guy on Twitter who is a great follow. Give him a shout out here. His name is Walla Betts, Walla Betts on Twitter. Cole Caulfield to get a point tonight, only minus 130. He has had his line set at 1 point 10 times this season, and it's hit 8 of them. So 80% hit rate, over half a point for Cole Caulfield. I personally like that. I'll be taking it. The Wild have given up a ton of goals this season so far. So we'll see what happens.
I've been doing Caulfield over 2.5 shots a lot this year, and it hits most nights. I probably will do that again tonight. The other thing
Yeah.
that You know what? This is more of like a Turk strategy. Shout out Turk, but he always talks about when these NHL games are so lopsided like this, and it's like, why? Jake Allen has actually played pretty well so far this year, and you can get the
Mhm.
Habs at plus 190. That's high enough that I'm considering a
What do you
half
have to
unit.
lose?
Literally, I don't hate that money line for the Habs. I think it's totally in play.
Up to plus 210 now as well. I mean, both them and the
Wow.
Flyers, with how well they've played
Yeah,
so far, I don't
that's
hate either of
disrespect.
those. The next game, we got the Islanders versus the Blackhawks in Chicago. We got the Blackhawks as plus 170 home underdogs. Islanders basically about a minus 200. What do you guys think? I don't have anything on this one.
Hawks have
Uh,
been winning a lot of games they're not supposed to as well. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know what else to say other than like these dogs are pretty tempting tonight. A lot of them.
I got
yeah.
that dog in them.
Yeah, and if it's Sorokin versus Stalock has actually had a couple decent, like really decent games that I think he's kind of stolen this year too.
The thing is, Sorokin has been like on another level so far, and Harry knows
Mm-hmm.
it best. He's on his fantasy team, so that might be one that I end up staying away from. I definitely can't take all of these underdogs,
Right.
so
That's
that'll
one where it's like,
probably
why not do Islanders puck line plus 120?
yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, if they're up one late, which there's totally a chance of happening, they might get that empty net or the empty better. So yeah, I don't hate that.
One little prop that I've loved with the Islanders, not doing it tonight because fun fact, and this comes from us from our buddy the Daily Over. The Blackhawks are the best over team to bet in the league so far. It's hit 7 times out of their 9 games. But Islanders first period under has been good to me this year. Not doing it tonight. Just want to put that out there. For the next game, we have the LA Kings going down to Texas to take on the Dallas Stars. We've got the Stars as minus 135 favorites. Kings coming in at plus 115 on the money line. Over under is set at 6. I personally have some action on this. I'm taking the Stars. They got embarrassed by the Rangers on home ice on Saturday, 6-3. And the Kings just came off a really nice win last night against the St. Louis Blues. The Kings give up a ton of goals on the road. They've given up the 5th most goals allowed when they're on the road. And the fact that they just won last night, I like the hungry team versus the satisfied team. I wish Ottinger was in net, but I'm going to take the Stars tonight.
I don't hate that at all. I don't like what I've seen from Cal Peterson for most of this year, and he'll be in net for the Kings most likely since Quick played last night. This is one where I want to take the over because neither of these goalies are very excellent in my opinion, but it's also just one of those like shit bag
It's the
hockey
Stars, man.
games. I can so see this being like a 2-0 Stars win or something like that. So I don't think I'll be taking that, but I like your Stars money line pick a lot. I might tell that.
These are 2 blacklist teams for me, usually, but tonight we're feeling it. I don't know. The next game, we got the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Nashville Predators. The Oilers come in at minus 160 favorites. Predators plus 140 underdogs. Over under set at 6.5. Just want to throw this out there. Leon Draisaitl has his highest points per game against the Predators more than any other team in his NHL career. So look for him on props tonight. Found that on Twitter.
I like that bet. I think isn't McDavid on a streak right now too?
He always.
I mean, yeah, but I know
Yeah.
he missed a couple games in a row earlier, and I think if I'm not mistaken, he's at
He's
like
back.
5 or 6 now in a row. But
Yeah, he's back.
yeah, no, I like that pick.
McDavid over 1.5 is never a bad option. Nick, you got any action on this one?
That one I'm leaving. I mean, I might sniff the over, but it's probably going to be ridiculous.
Yep, sounds good. Next up, we have the Seattle Kraken going up to the Saddle Dome to play the Calgary Flames. Minus 230 on the money line for the Flames. Basically, plus 200 for the Kraken. I won't touch this, but again, those underdogs, I when it's this heavy this early in
Yeah.
the season, I don't know.
Seattle has played decently well in a couple of games that they probably shouldn't have so far this year. However, that goalie matchup, it's confirmed to be Joey Decord for the Kraken versus Dan Darth Vader Vladar for the Flames. I mean, if I had any balls, I'd take the Flames at minus 225 money line, but I ain't taking it at that price. I
Yeah.
may put a little bit on the Flames puck line. I know I was just saying all these dogs, you should put some money on them, but This is one where I feel like there's no shot that the Flames find a way to lose this game.
No, and
Knock on
Decord
wood.
hasn't played a game yet this year, correct?
I don't think so. I haven't
Yeah.
seen his name on RotoWire once. So.
And at plus 120, I'm okay with that for a puck line. That's fine
yeah,
with me.
I will probably put a 1 unit play on that as well.
All righty, moving on. We got the Devils in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. Over-unders at 6.5. It's basically a pick 'em. The Devils have played really well so far this year. Got to give them some love. I just wrote this, but Jesper Bratt, he could be an MVP candidate if he keeps this rate up. He's playing unbelievable. I had the over on Sharp Rank, and I didn't publish it yet. I just had it booked, and then I was like, I went back and forth. I'm not going to touch this one. I don't know. Don't have a good feel on it.
Yeah, I don't really like this one. Plus, whenever I see these teams match up, all I can think about is the Corey Schneider trade.
Yeah, no, I won't be touching this one either, personally.
We got the Panthers at Arizona State against the Yotes, 6.5 at the over-under. The Yotes are plus 250, the biggest underdogs of the night. They have not won a game at home yet. This is their third home game. Will tonight be the night?
Well, I was gonna say something's got to give eventually. They're gonna win one of these home games in front of that college crowd at some point. My boy Carl Vamelka is in net confirmed tonight. I might have to toss a unit on this one. We all know how much I freaking hate the fraudulent Florida Panthers too, so might be the night.
It would be a game that they would lose too.
Might be the night to stay up late and watch the Yotes hopefully win me some money. I can throw on my Kachina jersey for some good luck.
Love that. Nick, do you got anything?
That's one that I just don't have the balls to take the underdog on. I can see a lot of you said it earlier. I can see a lot of these dogs working out tonight. I just don't see that one working out.
Fair enough.
And then the last game of the night, we've got the Anaheim Ducks in San Jose against the Sharks. The Sharks are actually favored in this game, minus 130 against the Ducks, plus 110. Over-under is at 5.5 for this one. I do have action on this one. I'm going to join the shots on goal army for this. I'm going to take Erik Karlsson over 2.5 shots on goal at plus 100. In his last 3 games, he has at least 3 shots on goal in all of those. I think the last game he had 7 shots on net. I like the way he's playing lately, so I'm going to take Erik Karlsson over 2.5 shots on goal. What do you guys have on this one?
He's looked good this season.
He has.
Over 5.5 is tempting for 2 shitbag hockey teams that could easily, just put a couple in. I may tell you on the shots on goal one, I can't in good conscience put money on either of these teams to win any hockey game, let alone against each other. So other than that, I'll probably steer clear here.
Yeah, that, and then maybe you look at, I would say the over because they're so bad, but they're also not great at scoring now.
That's the problem. And that's why it's set at 5.5 too. Yeah. Because they don't have a lot of goal scorers right now.
What would your guys' official published picks be if you had to put them out there at the moment? Do you have one or two that stand out?
It's dog night for me, baby. I'm probably going to end up taking 3 dogs tonight. And if I had to tell you what they are right now, I'm thinking, and again, this is all 1 unit, maybe half a unit. It's dog night. You can't be throwing 5 units on this shit, at least not in my opinion. But I'll probably throw about 1 or so units on Capitals money line, Coyotes money line for funsies, and you know what? Maybe it's not full dog night. I'll tell you on the Stars money line. I'm gonna end up taking that as well.
Nick,
I'll probably go with Isles puck line. I'll probably do the Flyers Rangers under, and then for these dogs, I might live bet. See how the first period goes and go from there.
As you all know, if you've ever listened to our podcast, I will also be live betting tonight. So
I've got Vegas money line, Dallas money line, Cole Caulfield to get a point, and Erik Karlsson over 2.5 shots on goal. That will wrap it up for our overtime report for November 1st. Let's start the month off strong and keep it going. We'll see you all in the next one.
See ya.